Hello everybody, welcome back to Frank's Collecting Castle, and time for part 2, because the previous two parts were part 1A and part 1B. Now we're on to part 2 of my Batman collection, and let's start with these. This is from the new 52 run of Batman, and we'll just start with volume 1. So this is a total of 10 volumes. Got all these in hardcover. I think there's an omnibus of it. So this is the Court of Owls. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Here's the DC logo. Got the back. I'm not going to go through every volume just too much in depth, but I'm going to show off a bit. So this is volume 1, obviously, when the DC decided to restart their entire universe and it started with Flashpoint, right? And it turned into the new 52, as they call it, when they scrapped all the previous titles and released 52 new titles. And of course, Batman was one of them. So this is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. This is a great run. You've seen it in my previous video that I had, one of the unwrapped editions, which is just like a sketchbook. This. I really love this run. This particular run here is really good. Just great storytelling and kind of a nice artwork as well. It's not the best artwork, but it's good. But yeah, the story here is great. Of course, we get introduced to the Court of Owls. Bruce Wayne, Batman, gets involved with the Court of Owls. There is an omnibus, yeah, there's an omnibus. I think there's some absolutes of this as well. So, wait, that's volume 1. And of course we have volume 2. Back. Now I know that not a lot of people, not everyone, really liked the Court of Owls, but I did. This was really an in to me with the new 52, or with DC, honestly, because I was not a fan of DC. I did not read a lot of DC. I was more of a Batman, or I was more of a DC fan, and what I liked, I'm saying it wrong. I was a Marvel fan, and I pretty much only read Marvel, but what I liked about DC was Batman. But when they restarted everything, I became a fan of a lot of things of the new 52, and I do have a lot of series from the new 52. So this was definitely an in for me to the entirety of the DC universe. And this was definitely one of the series. That's volume 2. Moving on to volume 3, they decided to do like this. Do the book white instead of the black color here. They did something cool though. You take this off. Just like take off the mask. So yeah, that is pretty cool. It just annoys me when everything else is uniform like this, and this comes this edition and just mixes things up. But you know, for a collector, that's something that annoys, right? You are all collectors, so you know what I mean. You want the uniform spines when it comes to books or to movies. We all like that. Yeah, anyway, that's volume 3. It continues, obviously, with volume 4. So this is volume 4, 0 Year, Secret City. Still the same team, Snyder and Capullo, how we want to pronounce it. And it continues. And we're up to the next volume. We're up to volume 5. So this is 0 Year Dark City. Oops, the book is a little thicker, has some more pages in it, this one, compared to volume 4. None of these really have too much when it comes to artwork on the actual book. It's just that volume 3 that was a bit different. Move on. Get some nice colors here. Alright, that's volume 5. 0 Year Dark City. We got volume 6. That's Graveyard Shift. Still think it's the same team, right? Snyder and Capullo. So I'm not going to go through. Everything. Moving on to volume. Let's move that one away. Volume 7. That's Endgame. Still very nice artwork though. Volume 8 is super heavy. Here's some nice artwork, I have to say. That's volume 8, super heavy. Going to volume 9, Bloom. Kind of a generic cover though. It's a type of cover we've seen 1,000 times. but it's still a nice cover. I like it when these types of long runs over 10 volumes, how it's the same creative team, you know, the same writer and the same artist through the entire series. It makes it very important. It is very important to me. And the final volume 10, called Epilogue. Go. See if I can organize and put everything into one nice pile here. Go. All 10 volumes of the New 52 Batman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and volume 10. So I'll be right back with more stuff. Okay, so the next batch is Detective Comics, Batman Detective Comics. But first of all, we have this, which is called The Night of Owls, which is that has more than just the Batman book. It has different Batman books in one volume here. I thought it was gonna have, actually see entirely what it contains. Did not have any table of content here, right? Which is a bit annoying. I'm trying to find here. Yeah, anyway, this is Night of Owls. Maybe continues the story. I actually have not read this book, so that's why I don't have fully control. You can see there's some different artists and writers here. It tells the story of the Court of Owls, seems like. That's Night of Owls. We also had another thicker book, which was The Joker, Death of the Family. So this collects pages from Batman, Batman Detective Comics, Batman and Robin, Batgirl, Suicide Squad, Nightwing, Red Hood and the Outlaws, and Teen Titans, and Catwoman. So this is a compilation book which tells this story in one volume. From different books during the New 52 run. So you can see this is a problem with a lot of comic books when it comes to Marvel and DC. At least they do one main story and they have 1,000 different tie-ins and it goes through different titles. this is sort of to get everything together in a good way. So, okay, anyway, another one that I picked up from the New 52 was Detective Comics. This is volume 1, Faces of Death. It's not, Faces of Death, you know, that's a classic 80s movie series of bad films, basically. But this was by Tony S. Daniel. So he did the writing and the artwork in this book. Anyway, that's volume 1. I have this complete in hardcover as well. This is, here we have volume 2 called Scare Tactics. You have the back and the spine. And some interiors. Okay, then we have volume 3, Emperor Penguin. Now we got a new team here of John Layman, Jason Fabok, and Clark. Tony S. Daniel actually only got 2 volumes. That's the thing when it gets to comics these days, or not these days, it's been for a long time, creative teams change during a series. They don't get a long run. They maybe get 6, 12 issues and then they change, which I think is sad. And that's why I like the New 52 Batman that I talked about earlier, because it's the same team throughout the entire run. Because here you get, you get story change, writing change, you get artwork change. So in the 70s and 80s, they had longer runs. Same team. So I really enjoyed that one. But this is volume 3, right? Yeah. We have volume 4. The Wrath. Not entirely sold on the artwork. I think it's really fantastic, but it's good enough, I suppose. Okay, then it's volume 5, Gothtopia. Spine. The back. Volume 6. This is a good looking, I like this cover though. Volume 6, Icarus. And we have another change in the artwork, or the creative team, Francis Manipul and Brian Bucoletto. I really like this yellow with the purple here and the dark blue and black. It really pops. It really pops and stands out towards something like this, which is so generic. This is incredibly generic. This really, this makes a difference. So this, as it says, volume 6, Icarus. And the new creative team of Manipul and Bucoletto. Let's have a look at it. I like that cover. It stands out towards compared to the other ones. Yeah, and there's a difference in artwork, and I kind of enjoy this artwork more than the previous volumes there. Some good stuff. Moving on to volume 7, which is called Anarchy. It's Manipul and Bucoletto again. Another one that stands out a little bit more. Spine, get the old DC logo, or the New 52 logo. The back. I like this artwork. Really enjoyed this artwork. Volume 7. Volume 8 is Blood of Heroes. Got Manipul, Bucoletto, and Peter J. Tomasi, who's been on Batman for different Batman titles for a long time. Another good cover here. Spine and the back. That's really good. So that's volume 8, Blood of Heroes. And volume 9, still haven't taken this out of the shrink wrap, honestly. This is volume 9, Gordon at War. So you have now Peter J. Tomasi, Fernando Pasarin, and Matt Ryan. Still in the shrink wrap. Had it like this for a long time, to be honest, but I'm gonna pause it here and have them all so you can see the different covers. Here we go. There's Detective Comics, and also the 2 tie-in books. The Night of Owls and Death of the Family. So we got Detective Volumes 1 and 2 by Tony S. Daniel. Then volumes 3, 4, and 5 by John Layman, Jason Fabok, and Andy Clark. So you can see these covers here are sort of generic standard covers, I would say. And then you switch to these with Francis Manipul and Brian Bucoletto. These stand out more than these. They definitely do. And then you have the final volume here, volume 9. There you have all of those. So that's Detective Comics. And I'm going to do a little pause, and I'll be back in a second with more volumes. Okay, here we are back again. We've now looked at Batman New 52 and Batman Detective Comics New 52. Now we're going to look at some other stuff. And here we have 2 volumes of a great book called Streets of Gotham. That has Paul Dini, Dustin Nguyen, Derek Fridolis, Mike Benson, Chris Jost. I don't know how many volumes they put out of this, but these are the 2 volumes I were able to find in nice hardcovers. So I'm very, very happy to have those. I got them really, really cheap. They were like $10 each, something I think. Got them for a really, really good price. as volume 1, Leviathan. That's fine. Here we have Streets of Gotham Hush Money. For some reason, I really like this cover. Pages, though, are incredibly thin. Man, I don't like it when the pages are this thin because you can break them really, really easily. They're way too thin. You don't need to have the papers this thin. It's not good. The quality of the book is good. You know, what's actually on the pages here, but the pages themselves are razor thin. That's Streets of Gotham. We have a book called The Batman's Grave. Complete collection. Warren Ellis, Brian Hitch, Kevin Nolan, and Alex Sinclair. This actually has artwork on the actual book itself. There's a pretty good cover there. Take away that dust jacket. Here you have, we can open it up like this, so you can see. It's not glossy paper, which I prefer not to have glossy paper. I like this paper, you know, newspaper type paper more. And as I talked about before, it depends on what type of book it is. If it's a book that has bright colors that like really pops, glossy paper really helps. But if it's with more darker and dim, not as bright colors, this paper type really makes a difference, to be honest. Yeah. This is a very nice book. Some nice artwork to it as well, so. Yeah, happy to have this one, The Batman's Grave. Then we have Gotham Central. Now, I have this book in different editions. I have it in trades and I have it in hardcovers. This is by Greg Rucka, Ed Brubaker, Michael Lark, Stefano Guadiano. I love this series. So this is volume 3. I have the others in trade. I know it's kind of random to have some in hardcovers and some in trade, but I do have that with some other volumes as well of other series, of other companies, Marvel and DC. This is Gotham Central. Gotham Central is different because it's not really about Batman. He does appear in the book, but it's really about the police, the Gotham PD. So that makes a difference. It's about their everyday and their, life and living and every day taking care of criminals and all that stuff. But this is a really, really good series. I love this type of artwork because it's Michael Lark. I love Michael Lark's artwork. He and Sean Phillips have styles that are very similar. And this artwork, along with Alex Malev, is the type of artwork that I really love because it looks more realistic to me, more grounded than the fantastic artwork you see in other books. But I definitely recommend Gotham Central. It's a hell of a book. I truly, truly love this artwork. Michael Lark is a great artist. That's Gotham Central. Pick this book up if you can. It's really great. Then we're going to go through one of my favorite artists of all time, and that is Gene Colan. And here we have Tales of the Batman, Volume 2, Gene Colan. This is the only volume. I have not been able to find Volume 1. I would love to have Volume 1, but I just haven't been able to find it. But I at least have one volume of this collection of Gene Colan Batman books. So this collects Batman 373, Detective Comics 530 through 538, 540 through 543, and World's Finest Comics 297 and 299. Now, I started to love Gene Colan through Tomb of Dracula, which is one of my absolute all-time favorite comic book series. It's Tomb of Dracula. I love that series so much. And I've done an overview of that, but maybe should do another one because I have it in a couple of different... Oh, here we go. To take away, I didn't even notice this. Take away the dust jacket. Oops. And got stuck. There we go. There we go. The Joker train, I suppose. Yeah, so as I said, I loved him in the Tomb of Dracula. His artwork in Tomb of Dracula, and I just love his style of artwork. The 70s style here is fantastic. And I know 70s and 80s may not be for everyone, but it is for me. I truly love that. I mean, we all love different stuff, and thank God for that. Yeah, Gene Colan is one of my favorite artists. Just look at that. Look at the face here, the textures and all that. I think it's... That panel alone, I think, is great. It's a simple panel, but it's expressful. All right. I'm a really big fan of this type of artwork. Batman in the 70s and 80s. That's the good stuff. Yeah, so this is a great book. I'm so happy to have it. I would have loved to have Volume 1. That is far out of print, unfortunately. So that is Tales of the Batman, Gene Colan. Then we got another one. Another book here. This is called Dark Knight, A True Batman Story. Paul Dini and Eduardo Rizzo. This is basically a true story about Paul Dini and how he was attacked. So you can read it here. One way home. I can't talk. Walking home one night, he was jumped and violently beaten. And he broke bones and shattered face. And this is basically the story he tells of that horrific night. When this book came out, it got a lot of press and became very popular. For a reason, but I think this was a way for him to kind of finally be rid of this horrific incident. Purge, I think. That's a cool image right there, splash page. Yeah. That's a Dark Knight, a true Batman story. Then we have The Batman Who Laughs, Scott Snyder and the great Jock. This became a huge hit as well when it came out. I don't think it has. Yeah, it does. About this Batman from another dimension. It's a very cool story. Has very cool artwork. Jock is a great artist, and he's another one of those artists that really fits doing Batman. Sure, he could do a great Daredevil or Punisher or something like that as well. Darker characters really fits his style of artwork. I don't think he should do like Superman, Green Lantern. He should do more darker characters. You know, more street level characters. Yeah, it's a really nice one. I like the paper quality. It's thin, very, very thin, but it's, once again, it's that newspaper quality. That's The Batman Who Laughs. And the final book I'm going to show today, we'll see. Anyway, this is a Joker, a celebration of 75 years. So this is a compilation celebrating, the 75 years of Joker. And it doesn't say exactly what it has, but it has a lot. Key issues from the history of the Joker. So here we go. First one is Batman number 1 from 1940. We have Batman number 5, Detective Comics 64, Batman 25, number 32, Detective 168, Detective 180, World's Finest 61, Batman 85, Batman 163. This is a classic, Batman 251, the Joker's 5-Way Revenge. We're going to take a look at that at 151. The Laughing Fish from Detective Comics 475 through 476. Superman 9, Batman 427. Legends of the Dark Knight number 6. Detective 726. Detective 741. Detective 326. Then we got from the Rebirth era, I suppose, Detective 1 and Batman 15. So here's the very first Batman number 1. We all know that Batman didn't show up until Detective Comics 27. That's when Batman made his first appearance. Yes, this is early stuff. Let's go to that one that the Joker's 5-Way Revenge. It was 141, right? I'm up to 103. 150. Here we go. Joker's 5-Way Revenge. This is a classic cover. Fortunately, here they sort of recolored it. I can tell. Which is a bit sad. This is a classic cover. This is a classic image, I should say. Yeah, you can clearly see that they recolored it. I don't like that. But still is very, very nice artwork, though. I really like this stuff. Still in the 70s and 80s. And we're moving to sort of more modern era, obviously, here. You see change in artwork. So that's a very cool book. They've done several of these, of a lot of the DC characters that celebrate. I'm gonna take a little pause here and I'll pick up some other volumes, and it's gonna be the final volumes of this video. I'll be right back. Okay, for the final books I'm showing in this video, first up we have Scott Snyder, Jock, the great Francisco Francavilla, and the Black Mirror. This is a great book. Great artwork in this book. Really appreciate this one, Black Mirror. Here we have Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo, Joker. Hell of a book. Entire dust jacket here has texture to it, which is so cool. Entire book has that texture. I don't think that one has anything. No, it's just imprint here. You can clearly see like the Joker. It's very cool. This is a book that I highly recommend. Artwork here is stunning. This needs to have a bigger, this needs to be oversized. Not oversized, European sized, which is way bigger than American style oversized, standard oversized. But this book deserves to have the best quality it can get. This is such a good book. It has amazing artwork. Once again, it does not have glossy paper. It has the newspaper thing to it. It is razor thin quality paper though, which is too sad because, as I said, it can break. But the artwork here, this is a stunning book. Damn, it's good. This is one I highly recommend. Highly recommend this one. Brian Rossarello and Lee Remijo, Joker. Then we have from the New 52, we have Batman: The Dark Knight, Volume 1. This has David Finch, Paul Jenkins, Richard Friend from the New 52. This is the only volume I have of The Dark Knight, called Night Terrors. Artwork sort of reminds me of Jim Lee. Same style. And the final two I'm going to show you today are the Batman Earth 1. Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Now there's a Volume 3 that I have not picked up yet. That's been out for quite a while, but this is the first two volumes. I like the texture here. It's really nice. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, the creative team. There's, yeah, texture here is very, very nice. You get the spine, get the back. You get really nice artwork as well. That's Volume 1. And we have Volume 2. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. We also have John Sebal, and Brad Anderson. Spine. And the back. I'm going to show you how all these looks on the shelf, so you can see how the spines line up and stuff like that. I think that is kind of nice to show off. That's going to be the final thing to show off here. But it's nice artwork again. So that's Earth 1, Volume 2. As I said, I don't have Volume 3. Those are the books I'm going to show today. I've been going for almost an hour here. And I'll be right back so you can see all the spines on the shelf. So here we are. Let's start with the absolutes. See, they look nice. And we move on to a lot of the rest of the Batman books that I showed before. Moving down here, we have the entire Earth 1. Not the entire, there's a couple of volumes that I'm missing, but I'm missing a volume of Wonder Woman, as I said, of Batman, and there's 2 volumes of Green Lantern at least. And here are the New 52. You got Batman and you got Detective. So that's the video today. Hope you really liked it. Give me that thumb up if you do like it, and comment down below what you think about it. What do you think about the Batman in the New 52, or what do you think about the New 52 overall? Let's get that conversation started. And man, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon about more Batman. And until next, I'll see you all soon. Bye.